Hello, friends, and all my dear viewers. Happy New Year to all of you. I sincerely hope that all of you had a really great end of 2025. You spent some really good time with your family and friends, and back in 2026 with all the energies and ready to uh, roar. So with that, I just wanted to come today in this video to talk about a few things, though I will not go into too much of details in this video today, but as many of you have heard about some of the terms that we strategists use quite frequently, some of the frameworks like uh, VUCA world. So what the VUCA stands for is volatile, uncertain, chaotic, and ambiguous, right? So from VUCA, there is the world is getting into uh, I would say a newer situation, which we call BANI. So BANI is brittle, anxious, nonlinear, and it's about incomprehensible. So I am not going to talk about the BANI or VUCA in this video, but what I really wanted to start the 2026 with that you know a a uh, clear cut understanding that we are in a world which is moving in a direction which is far from the ideal, and where the atmanirbharta or self-reliance has become even more and more important. So just start of this week, earlier this week, I was in National Aerospace Laboratory, NAL, for some meetings, and I was talking to some of the senior scientists, and it happens to they happens to remind me that it is also the time for 25th year of the first flight of LCA. And then we kind of started going back to the dates, the old days, and we were discussing about how we used to spend those early days of test flights, and how we used to celebrate every learning, uh, every data that we gathered from those test flights, and how we learned a lot of things from those days. Uh, so while this is really a very proud moment for me, because in one of my earlier videos I have mentioned that LCA is very close to me, because I have uh, started my career on LCA. So while this is really very proud moment that we reached this milestone, but this also reminds me that you know uh, the uncertainty and the incomprehensible situation overall that we are in today's world. So that's the reason I started this video with those mentioning about those frameworks of VUCA and BANI, and why it is more and more important. So definitely, I will create a separate video in future about those frameworks, and I will also talk about in more details about how uh, the things needs to evolve in terms of self-reliance or atmanirbharta, because when we talk about this uncertainty or incomprehensible situation, uh, it reminds me that uh, in today's world, even those LCA or the self-reliant or indigenous equipment that we talk about today, or the aviation industry or aerospace industry that we talk about today in India, which is definitely in a nascent stage, but it definitely needs to uh, gear up for the future. So, what do I mean by gearing up for the future? Is that our startups are really doing a lot of work. I must say that a lot of new startups have come in, who are working on drone technologies. A lot of the government supports are there to help them on the on various drone technologies. Many of them have come up with drones which are being used by our defense forces, or many of them are commercializing their drones as agri drones and others. But somewhere I see that there is a requirement of moving just from creating the basic drones, or some of those technologies, or adapting some of those technologies, and creating some products uh, to work for now, uh, to something which is really really strategic. Okay, and when I talk about the strategic, those strategic uh, deep tech areas which I would specifically like to mention, that probably in 2026 and in future, which many of uh, the organizations or startups would be requiring to look at, is one is the propulsion technology. Propulsion means what I mean about the jet engines. Uh, Definitely, we have already developed a good capability in the cryogenic engine and rocket propulsion, but we do lack our self-reliance on the indigenous capability on uh, engines. So I will definitely cover that in the subsequent episode, going in more details about what I mean by the the indigenous technology development and the capability development on the engine side. The second item which I think is very very important is the alternative energy. And when I talk about the alternative energy, it is not just about the renewable energy sources like solar energy, or the wind uh, farms or something like that, but what I am talking about is thorium based uh, nuclear energy. So India is having abundance of thorium, and it can be a great alternative source from the current nuclear energy sources, which is mainly dependent upon the uranium. So I know we have done quite a bit of laboratory testing and the early work on that, but there is a lot of things to be done on that area. So that is the second strategic area which I would mention that we really need to look at. And the third, uh, but probably one of the most important area, is about the deep tech in the communication and the uh, the uh, the autonomy. When I talk about the autonomy, it's not about just the uh, automation, right? So a lot of time we forget that what, or maybe we use autonomy and automation in a interchangeable way, but I'm very specifically not talking about the automation, but I am talking about the autonomy, and autonomy in terms of aviation and aerospace sector, which I believe the people who are aware of uh, the technology gap, the challenges, they can understand. But definitely for my viewers, I will create separate video for them. And when I talk about this communication and resilient communication, I should say, and the the autonomy. So it's it's a much more complex, much more detailed, deep tech technology research and development that needs to be done here, and I will talk about those in my future video. So probably I will make multiple videos on this particular topic, because this is something very very interesting for me as well, because I am an avionics engineer by training. So this is something which is very close to my heart as well. So I will talk about the importance and what exactly I am talking about. So some of you might be thinking that uh, what is the big deal about this autonomy that you are talking about? We already have ADAS level 3 or level 4 coming. So those kind of autonomous technology for vehicles, so we already have. But what I am talking about is a much more complex, much more technically advanced uh, area, which is the future of probably the aviation and aerospace industry. I will just stop here today, because I don't want to confuse and make people uh, think that oh, this is something uh, which is already there. This is not something which is already there. Yes, partially it is there, but what I am talking about is a much more deeper technology, which I will talk about in the coming weeks. So uh, with those three main areas which I believe as part of the aerospace industry broadly, and the technological area for uh, aerospace and defense for India. So these are some of the very very critical area which we really need to look at, and in 2026 and beyond, because this we are living in a world where it is really extremely uncertain, where you never know when your friends become adversaries, and when your supply chain get disrupted. Because just one example is that say our LCA or the future AMCA, those kind of platforms are depending on the GE engines, right? So uh, GE engines, obviously it's a foreign source uh, from where we would be uh, sourcing those equipments, and it's not about just one company, but there are multiple companies from different parts of the world who are involved in providing some of the components and systems and subsystems of those engines, right? So if one of those uh, friendly nations become our adversary, so it really becomes difficult for our supply chain, because then we would be uh, held, you know, kind of handicapped in a situation where we are waiting for parts and which needs to come from some of our adversaries. So this is a real world scenario today, and that's why as a strategist I started this video by mentioning about the frameworks like VUCA and BANI, and I promise that I will talk about those in more details in future. Uh, with that, what I would say that in last year in 2025 when we started this channel, so our focus was more to uh, just share information and help the students to learn more about the aerospace industry. So in 2026 the resolution is that not we will not just that we will continue what we did in 2025, we will definitely continue to do that, but we will go into much more deeper discussions and much more deeper technology trends and the strategy trends, as well as uh, the uh, the way forward which should be done or needs to be done. So we will talk about all those in 2026. So all through the year we will continue to discuss and on various topics related to this. And obviously I would request all my viewers, if you really want to know more about different strategy frameworks, different the aerospace technology related stuff which probably you might have uh, heard about or read in some of the articles here and there, but do not have a comprehensive understanding about them, how they work, and what really I'm talking about in a technology and strategy point of view. So if you really want to know more about this, please subscribe and like my channel, so that whenever I post something related to all these topics, so you get to know and hear more about uh, all these topics. And also feel free to let me know about any specific topic which you would like me to cover for you. So I will definitely try to bring those uh, topics in different episodes in future. So with that I stop my video here today, and looking forward to talk about in more details of all these points which I mentioned in this video in the subsequent video which are going to come in very soon. So keep watching, keep subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Have a great day.